In this video, you are going to learn the 7 best creative maps in the game for improving in the brand new Season 7. Let's go. Creative is amazing for improving all aspects of your game and fixing your weaknesses if you can find the right maps to use within creative. So that's what we're going to be going over today, so all of you guys can get the most out of your practice in creative. We'll cover aim maps, building, editing, and piece control maps, so we have something for every weakness that any of you could possibly have. First up, don't worry, not all of the maps that I talk about in this video are aim related. I just think that aim is really underrated in Fortnite because everyone always goes on about who can build the fastest or who has the flashiest edits, but they forget that the game is still a battle royale first person shooter at heart, and that the main mechanic is aim, and everything else that you do is really just to help you hit your shots and avoid getting shot. Also, because it just makes sense, I'm going to clump all of the aim maps together at the start so we can get through them and onto the more fun maps. So Skaavoks is a creative map made by Don Wazzy that I feel like I've gone on about in far too many videos now, but it really is just that good. You can practice all sorts of aiming scenarios in this map. To be honest, I don't even know what half of them are. There's just so much variety, and that's part of what makes the map so amazing to use. You can train shotgun, SMG, AR, or even sniper aim, and it's really just got everything you'd need. Another benefit of this map, as opposed to third-party aim trainers like Kovacs or AimLab that you use out of the game, is that you can use real weapons like you would in-game, so you have to deal with bloom and recoil. This makes it unique because while you do lose some raw, pure aiming practice efficiency, you gain the fact that you get to use actual weapons. It's like a trade-off. The next map is the last full aim map in this video, so I'll get it done quickly for you guys. This map is by the legend Raider464. This map is always up to date with the latest weapons and creative map features, so you can have the best aim training experience possible. There are no bugs ever that will disturb your practice in this map, or any other ones of Raiders maps for that matter. Raider464's Aim Duels is a map in which you and a friend grab a gun, pick your health, and drop into one of the tons of realistic close range aim scenarios. This map is easily the best creative map ever for improving aim. I'm sorry Skaavoks, you're still good. In this map, you should be focusing on movement as well as aim, as it's designed to improve both. You should try to find a balance between aim and movement while playing, so you're not just standing still and shooting, and you're not doing 360s and crouch spamming at the speed of light either. You should play mostly with the fast pump mode, and then with some ARs or SMGs in mostly the 1x1 with cone scenario. Map number 3 in this video is another mostly aim map that's this time made by another map making legend, Pandvil. This guy makes maps like Clix's box fights, realistics, and basically every zone war map that all the pros use, so you know he's good. I know that I just said I wouldn't do any more aim maps, but then I remembered that this map exists and I literally just had to include it. Plus, it's technically still a box fight map, so I wasn't lying. This map is just like any other FFA box fight map except for one thing. In this map, you can only eliminate other people with perfect 200 pumps. Pandvil has once again come to the forefront of creative maps in this map, where he uses a clever system of like infinite regenerating health to make sure you can only die to being one shot. As with all of Pandvil's maps, like Raiders, they're of the highest quality, and through all of my extensive use of the map, and from what I've heard, there are no flaws whatsoever. When playing this map, just like Aim Duels, you want to focus on movement and aim, because although you want to make it easier for you to hit 200s, you also want to make it harder for you to get hit. However, you need to focus slightly more on aim than you do in Aim Duels, because like I said, you do have to hit a 200 to eliminate someone. This map is also amazing for practicing being fast and slow with your gameplay at the same time. What I mean by this is that you need to be as fast as possible to piece control and box up your opponents while you're in the box fighting part of the map, but then once you're in a situation where you've boxed someone up or you are boxed up, you really need to slow down because you can only hit a max damage shot. This fast and slow playstyle is going to become the new meta for fighting in game because it combines the best of both worlds into one. Especially with the pump in the game for the next season, you're only going to get one shot on someone most of the time if you're in a box with them, so you have to learn to slow down to hit it hard. This map also works on a bit of box fighting mechanics and editing practice as well, So maybe if you're looking to shorten your warm-up because you just can't play that long in a day, you should definitely include maps like this in your routine that warm up and practice multiple parts of your game at once. That way you can have the most efficient warm-up before you get into games. Next, a completely non-aim training map made by the legend Raider464. If you can't tell already, all his maps are amazing for improving everything, and you could probably literally just go pro only using his maps. Raider's Peace Control practice map V2 is the absolute best map for improving peace control, no disputes here at all. If you're not using it, you will find yourself falling behind the competitive meta, and we all know you don't want that. So just use the map, there's really not much to it. While playing the map, you want to be trying to keep your crosshair movements as small as possible so you can get it into your muscle memory. You also don't want to just go into the map and do the exact same edits and moves over and over again. When playing this map, you want to try as many different builds and edits as possible so that you can become more versatile and perform better in game. You should be doing the best peace control moves in the best way. Even if it takes you ages and you have to really slow down to hit and edit perfectly, you should do it over and over again to get it into your muscle memory in game. Because remember, creative maps are just to improve skills for in-game, so you need to make sure you're only practicing properly doing the right moves if you want to be able to peace control the best in-game. Fifth map in the video so far is going to be Finest YT's Realistic 1v1s. This map's been around for a while now, but has had some really underrated updates that are taking it back to the best for practice. First things first, this map is the best, most realistic mid-game fighting practice that you can get in creative. It's the closest that you can get to a real fight when in creative. So this map is just really good if you're struggling a lot with fighting in arena or are stuck at a low division. If that's you, then you should just run this map a bunch until you're comfortable fighting in creative before you bring those skills back into arena. It's also great if you're trying to learn how to use a new move that you've been practicing in another map in an actual fight. I wouldn't recommend playing it too much though, because unless you're at a lower level or can't get to champs or whatever, it's just better practice fighting in arena and using this map for like a warm-up or, like I said before, to practice a new move. Now, what about those new updated features I talked about earlier? Well, on top of getting new locations to fight in the map, the best update to the practice is a new mode. This mode is the early game practice mode that you can enable just by walking through a rift before the game. This is something really unique that I don't think any other map has. In this mode, you get garbage weapons and really low mats and scuffed heals, just like you would in a real early game. I'm recommending this because I hear a lot of people say how much they struggle in early game and how they excel in mid and late game, but just can't get there because they keep dying off rip. This makes it really good practice for early game fights. So if you're finding yourself constantly dying in those actual matches, consider running a few rounds of this a day to get some practice. Overall, this map is just really good for improving not only mid game but also early game fights. So if you do struggle with any of those things, you should definitely be running this map as part of your practice routine. Okay, so the next map in the video isn't actually a map at all. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a bonus tip about using all of the creative maps that I do mention in this video. So let's talk about why we play creative. I know this seems like a pretty basic thing, but it's really important that we think about why we do everything in our practice routine so the meaning of the practice doesn't get lost. Creative, at least for competitive players, is for three things: warming up, getting down the basics, and learning new moves and fixing weaknesses. That's all. I see far too many people wasting hours a day thinking that they need to play creative to improve, when in reality they should just be focusing on playing arena or scrims instead. At the end of the day, creative mode was never made purely for practice, so you won't ever get 100% realistic practice while playing the mode. So just stop wasting your time grinding so much of it and go play some arena. Now, obviously this doesn't apply for everyone. Beginners will need to play much more creative to get down the basics like peace control and some other skills, and the same with people who are just getting back into the game. But for most people, creative should just be for those three things and much less than you play actual matches. Okay, let's hop back into the maps. For almost as long as creative has been in the game, people have wanted a simple one-stop shop kind of map for just improving mechanics. And now we have it, Raider464's Mechanics Practice Map. This map is a recent one that some of you guys probably haven't even heard of. It has literally everything you need for improving your mechanics. Piece control tunnels, edit timing drills, piece control edit drills, edit crosshair placement, and free building. That's a lot. You could honestly probably just play only this map and become a mechanical god like Raider himself. In the piece control tunnels, you build and edit through an open space, filling in the builds as you go to practice different types of builds and edits while moving in different ways. Playing this improves your movement as well as editing, and it's really good for when you're in a sticky situation like in a scuffed endgame going up a hill or something, or an early game with no mats, as they practice the weird edits you'll have to be able to do to pop off in those situations. Edit timing is for practicing timing you pressing the edit button and selecting the edit so that you can edit as optimally as possible. The goal isn't to edit as fast as possible in this drill, it's just to make sure that you select the edit instantly after you press your edit keybind. The piece control edit drills on this map are similar to the piece control tunnels, focusing on awkward edits and fluid movement while going through the course. The crosshair placement drills is one of the unique points of this map in particular that makes it stand out and earn its rightful place on this list. By the way, this list isn't in any particular order, it's just a good top 7 of some balanced maps that practice different things. The crosshair placement edit drills focus on perfecting your crosshair placement while editing from any angle. The red lines on the walls outline how you should move your mouse for the most optimal edit. Again, here the main goal is not speed, but to go as fast as you can while always making the best edit, that is, following the red line. So for most players, that's going to be quite a slow speed. You should edit from many angles, from a box away and with blueprints out, from really close up, and while moving around and crouching. You can also practice with a shotgun as if you're making the best edit to take a peek shot right after. After you've done all your aim training for the day, the very next thing that you're going to want to do is hop straight into Raider 464's Buildfight map. Yes, I know there are many other Buildfight maps out there that can accomplish the exact same thing, but I'm just a bit of a Raider fanboy at this point and I gotta stick with the theme. There really isn't much to this map, but I just love its super clean design and minimal input delay. Playing 1v1s or free building in this map always feels amazing, and I recommend it to everyone who asks. Speaking of 1v1s, they're a pretty important part of your routine, so if you're wondering how much you should play them or any other one of these creative maps, you should check out this video on screen now about the best routine for improving in the new season. I'll see you over there.